Hey Josh, what's your call sign?
KI6NAZ.
And what's your YouTube channel?
Ham Radio Crash Course.
And what is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
I'm not a good enough surfer to do it.
Making YouTube videos, of course.
I don't have a question to that because I know all about that.
Yeah.
What camera setup you have there then today?
This is an FX30. This is a part of the Sony Cinema line. It's primarily just for video. I've been using it for about 2 years now, and I have a nice little directionally changeable microphone. I can switch from omnidirectional to cardioid to super cardioid, so making interviews is pretty easy and capturing stuff here at the show.
Nice. I do have a follow-up.
Okay.
How many hours in the day you work on ham radio crash course content?
I have no
idea.
idea.
A week?
I have no idea.
No idea? We were trying to figure out your Saturday because it's a live stream or for an hour, then a 2.5 to a 3 hour after chat, and then you sit down with Leia for another 3 hours.
On podcast, and then editing videos, and then you got Ham Nation.
Yeah?
It's another job, really. Yeah. Another job, I'd say. Yeah. Hey, it's a good hobby, though, right?
It's a good hobby.
I get to do my hobby for many hours a week. Just think about it like that.
Yeah. What mesh tax that you have here is bright green, caught my eye.
This is a MoozyWorks.
What?
This is the MoozyWorks first anniversary. Okay. This is the Heltech T114, right? Is that the, yeah. This is the new, or H1, it's either an H or a T114. No, anyway, it's the upgrade to the V3.
Okay.
It's much more battery life efficient, and it's got a much nicer screen. It's kind of hard to see in the sunlight, but it's pretty cool.
All right, thank you for your time, and have a good Hamfest.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Howdy, Emily, and what's your call sign?
My call sign is KZ5HCK.
Okay.
And what is your amateur radio adjacent hobby you have?
This has nothing to do with amateur radio, but I did find ham radio people on it. It's called Postcrossing. You send postcards out to random people, and random people will send you postcards back.
How did you get into that? That's interesting.
I don't remember. I think on Reddit, there was a ham radio person who was looking at who also did postcrossing. So I looked at his profile and heard about postcrossing, and it was just something that I got
That's
into.
awesome. And we were introduced by Joni, and she said you are a 3-month amateur radio extra?
Yes, I am.
What? That's awesome, amazing.
Yeah. So I got my technician, and a month and a half later, I got my extra.
Congratulations. High five.
Thanks.
Enjoy this amazing hobby, and start sending QSO cards, because that's also like it too, right?
Yes, I did start doing that.
Nice, awesome. If you get one to me, it's going to be a year, because I forget.
All right.
Well, thank you again.
Yeah.
I'm with John, and what's your call sign?
N9UPC.
And my ham radio question for the Hamfest is, what is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
All right, I guess I won't, it's sort of a hobby, but it's not, I guess I don't get paid for it, so it's a hobby, but I coach volleyball. I coach middle school girls volleyball. I coach my daughter's team and stuff like that, so I guess I would have to say that is my hobby outside of ham radio, is working with the youth and coaching.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You won any championships?
No. No, we would be the equivalent this year of the Bad News Bears. But no, we haven't, but we don't do it to win. I mean, winning is nice, but it's to make sure that the girls get out and have a good time, so.
I love it. I love it. You're having a good Hamfest?
We are. This is the lull before the storm, as they call it, saying, and
that
stuff like that.
That was last night, though.
That was last night. So this is post-storm, right?
Yes.
This is cleanup. So, but no, we've been having a great one. The weather looks like it's going to be nice today, and yeah, we're glad to be here. But I am looking forward to Monday.
Yep, me too. Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay.
Carlos, what's your call sign?
I am K9OL.
And what's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is Life at Terminal Velocity.
And I already know where this is going to go. What is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
Well, my ham radio adjacent hobby is skydiving, jumping out of perfectly good airplanes. That's an easy question, you know.
I know it was a lob for you.
Is this the question of the
yes, it is.
of the fest?
Yes, it's not directed to you, but I was like, I'm going to ask Carlos, and I know his answer.
Absolutely. Look, anytime I get a chance to put an antenna at 14,000 feet, I'm going to, because guess what? Antenna height matters, and I have the tallest antenna in the Midwest for about 14 minutes.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We were just, you were just doing a youth forum?
Yeah, the ARRL has a youth rally, And the plan was to come here and make a jump for the youth and let them make a contact, QSO or parachute mobile. Unfortunately, the weather is not cooperating. The winds are insanely fast, and better safe than sorry. We opted to stay on the ground and not break ourselves.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to make a goal. Not this Huntsville, next Huntsville. I want to lose more weight.
Cool.
I'm officially saying it now, and I'm going to get back up in the air, and I'm going to be your little spoon again.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
baby. Tank radio, parachute mobile, once more.
Yes. Thank you, Carlos.
You bet, dude.
Yeah.
7-3.
For Alpha Quebec, Ham Radio Now, not the oldest, but close, and of course, the most important amateur radio program on the internet.
Well, what is your ham radio adjacent hobby, Gary?
Clearly podcasting.
Podcasting?
Yeah.
So you run ham radio now. How long have you been doing that?
Started in 2012. I actually got a guest shot. I was the guest host on Ham Nation in 2011. Bob Heil sort of hired me to do that, and I did that for the first 6-8 months or so, and loved it so much that I pivoted my little DVD production business. You could tell how I was right on top of technology.
Oh, yeah.
Into going online. I changed the name. I got the Ham Radio Now. The very first episodes were from the Orlando Hamcation in February 2012. So we're like 13 years old now. There have been people who've done it longer. Of course, Ham Nation had been on the air for a year longer. The Amateur Logic guys have been on the air for several years longer. And other folks had started earlier. But I'm still kind of an OG. I'm also old.
Hey, man, you're fitting up with the crowd over here.
I'm trying to keep up with you guys.
So what's coming up on your channel?
Well, I'm recording stuff. I'm not doing very much live, so recording stuff like on this camera. And I've got enough stuff to keep me editing for days to weeks. So it's going to be all Dayton all the time for the next couple
I know
of
the
weeks.
feeling. So Monday, if you're in the Euless area, I got some jokers in the background. I love it.
Are we being photobombed?
No, it's fun. Monday, I'm going to be at my cigar bar editing all day. That is my podcast office. Well, all right, Gary, I thank you for your time and have a good Hamfest.
Too much inside baseball here.
You'll fit in with one of my audio podcasts. We just talk inside baseball and
Good
whatever
deal.
else floats your boat.
All right, Mike, it's good running into you.
Good running into you. Have a good Hamfest.
73 over and out.
What's going on, Mike? What's your call sign?
K8MRD.
And what's your YouTube channel?
It's called Ham Radio Tube.
Nice. I want to know, what is your ham radio adjacent hobby or just another hobby?
Well, before I discovered ham radio, my life was pretty much consumed by music, playing music, guitar. And it's actually kind of funny. I started playing guitar when I was like 12, and oddly enough, I've always been a wireless nerd, okay? Like wireless guitar systems. Like my first wireless guitar system was a Nady Wireless 1 because I didn't want to have cords from my guitar to my amps. I just wanted to be wireless. So it's funny that I've always been into wireless stuff, even in my other hobby, without even realizing the radio nerd aspect of it. I just didn't want a cord, but I mean, since I'm 12, 13 years old, I've used a wireless guitar system, and guitars are just as expensive, if not more, than ham radios. So I'm like double screwed with my hobbies, but yeah, playing guitar, 3 Gibson Les Pauls, 2 acoustics, amps, speakers, the whole 9 yards. But yep, and now my wireless system is a Shure QLXD. And that son of a gun was $1,000 just for a transmitter.
Dang.
Yeah, well, it's transmitter and receiver.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's digital.
It's a pair, yeah.
But just like ham radio, when I went from one wireless to this one, the clarity was just like night and day. So that's my answer, and it's
How
probably
fitting
way
with
too
the
long
Guns
of an
N'
answer.
Roses t-shirt you
Yeah.
have there. Now, did you have
It's all because of Slash, by the way. Slash is the reason I play guitar.
did you check out the swap meet area?
I went through it a little bit yesterday,
There
but I
is-
didn't. I wasn't like
going through it with a fine-tooth comb, more just a general overview of the thing.
The guitar guy is back this year.
I didn't know there was a guitar guy.
So in the big circle area, over on the far end, there's a booth that has nothing but guitars.
They probably suck. But I'm probably going to have to go look through them.
You will. I'm just got to tell you.
I'm always out there looking. I did see a couple wireless guitar systems out there, a couple Audio-Technica ones. They're old and kind of garbage, but like if I could find like a Shure UHFR or anything Shure that's better than what I have, which gets really expensive. Like I'm always hoping that I'm going to find someone that has something really good that doesn't know what they have.
Oh, it's always the dream.
I can just
always the dream with any
swoop
hobby.
in and take it. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
100% guitar is the answer. Yes.
Thank you, Mike. Have a good Hamfest. Tim, what's your call sign?
Call sign is November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot.
And what's your channel?
My channel is, I've got two of them. I've got Grayman POTA, Gray, spelled the American way, Grayman POTA. And also I've got the Ham Radio Kids Table, which is a combination of a bunch of us YouTubers who are ushering in the next generation of amateur radio.
And the Hamfest question is, what is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a ham radio adjacent or if ham radio is adjacent to it, but my background is electronics, and those two go hand in hand.
Electronics, what's your latest project then?
Right now, I'm actually repairing my ZBit X, and going to be looking at how to kind of do a little bit better on the voltage protection.
Cool. All right, man. Well, have a good Hamfest.
All right, you too. Thank you very much, Frank.
Name's Craig, WJ6F Radio. Other hobby besides ham radio is going to either be photography or long-range shooting.
Ooh.
I do a lot of shooting up in the high desert of California. So one of the few things you can still do in California.
And what's your last photography trip that you went on?
I incorporate photography with making the videos nowadays. I was in Puerto Rico in March, Texas in February, and I'll be in New Orleans next week. Just trying to get around to all the POTAs I can get to before I get old.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a passion in buildings, historical, streams, rivers, waterfalls are mine?
I like architecture. I really like architecture a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been through Rome. I was stationed in Germany. I've seen some of the greatest buildings and cathedrals out there. I've been to the Vatican, so even though I'm not Catholic.
Hey, you can appreciate the architecture.
Oh, yeah. It is a fascinating place.
What's your channel with us?
WJ6F Radio.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Have a good Hamfest.
No problem.
Howdy, Jason.
What's up?
What's your call sign?
KC5HWB.
And YouTube channel?
I don't have one.
Perfect. I want to know, what is your, my ham question of the Hamfest is, what is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
Ham radio adjacent hobby, overlanding.
Overlanding?
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Overlanding and camping. And I'm actually just getting into overlanding, and I'm really kind of enjoying it. Basically, it's just car camping. Going out into the woods, off-road, or just going out into like a national park or national forest or something and setting up a camp either with a tent or with your vehicle. And as we all should know, national forests are all POTA spots. National parks are all POTA spots. National forests are free to camp in for most people. It's easy to get into and easy to overland through and easy to set up, and then you've got a POTA spot. So you can kind of combine the two hobbies very easily. But I like being outdoors. I've had a hunting lease for a number of years. I've enjoyed camping my whole life, and when I kind of figured out what overlanding was here a few years ago, I'm like, that fits right into what I'm already doing. So I've done some outfits to my truck and with off-grid batteries and off-grid power accessories. And then of course I have radios in there, which are off-grid communications as well. So been really enjoying that. Those two hobbies really marry together well, I think. And I've met a lot of really cool overlanders who are either already hams and wanted to know more about it, or they were interested in getting into ham radio, and I've become really good friends with these guys over the last 3 to 4 years. So been really enjoying that, and Frank needs to buy a 4x4 so he can join us.
I do. And hot take, which is the more expensive hobby, overlanding or amateur radio?
Absolutely overlanding. Everybody who says ham radio is expensive has never played golf,
they've never done any deep sea fishing, and they've never done any overlanding. As there's probably a lot more than that.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, you bet.
Howdy, Joe Brett. What's your call sign?
K5YVY.
Can we get that one more time? That's beautiful.
K5YVY.
So I want to know, what is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
My ham radio adjacent hobby is other ham radios and antennas.
Yeah?
I don't really venture out much from the hobby, but ham radio is so many different hobbies. So I'm a computer nerd, so
Yep.
I love the computer stuff. A lot of people don't like it. I mean, there's stuff I'm a fan of and not a fan of, but it's all interesting to me. So anything I can geek out on, and especially maybe use a little radio with it, I'm down for it.
So what are you doing with the computers? Are you programming, or are you just trying to tweak and do digital?
Programming, I went to school many years ago for programming, and then I didn't do it anymore.
I never pegged you as a programmer.
Yeah, so I did go for computer programming. I couldn't learn the language before a new one come out, and so I took on different types of work after I left school, and forgot all about the language programs. But hey, there's this thing called AI, love it or hate it, but it's kind of helping me get back into it. So like I made me the K5YVY QSO mapper that I let a few people test out. So you know, the famous mapper, everybody likes to map their contacts. But the gem in my program was it showed your top 5 furthest contacts. Some of them will just show you your longest contact. Well, I want the top 5, right?
Yeah.
So let's do a little ranking system, but just a little fun stuff.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Man, yeah, it's good to see you, Tank the Frank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, have a good ham fest, and can we get your call sign one more time?
You absolutely can, and anybody listening, get ready to record it, and just don't use it on your voice feed there. K5YVY.
Look at this.
Primates don't know how to.
What's going on, fellas? Hey, Kyle, what's your call sign?
Alpha Alpha Zero Zanzibar.
Nice, nice. And tell me about your ham radio adjacent hobby.
Yeah, I play tennis.
Tennis?
Yeah, I use ham radio in tennis. You know how?
How?
I put APRS on the ball, and that's how I find it on the court.
You're that bad?
I'm that bad. It's very slow, but it does the job. You got to beacon out all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Do you have a digit repeater inside the court area?
Yeah, we put it on the net.
Yeah?
Yep, and that's how we get the packets. I'm thinking about upgrading to Mesh-tastic, though.
Mesh-tastic?
Yeah, I'm going to put a node inside the ball.
All right, I want to know, how can you incorporate Node Red into this now?
Well, that's where I have AI programmed into this, and I already know where the shots are going to go.
Okay.
So therefore, Node Red sends me through AI a thing in my earpiece, and then it tells me where to go on the court.
I love it.
That's
I love
how I do it.
And can you somehow route those over Node Red to your Flex so everyone in the area knows where those balls are?
Yeah, we're doing real-time streaming of all the shots that I hit in tennis, and then also what I do is I jam the other side of the net, so therefore my opponents have no idea where I'm going to hit the ball. It works out.
I love this.
It works out.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, see you later.
Ham Radio Adventure Guy.
Tank Radio.
Ham Radio Adventure Guy.
Tank Radio.
Ham Radio Adventure Guy.
Tank Radio.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Doing all right. A little tired, but the weather was fun last night. Tell me what happened first. You had how many people?
We had a 33 person activation last night, and we had to call it short because we got under tornado warnings, and we had to get everybody home for their safety. So.
Yep. We were thankful here. The weather broke up and split us, and it was much about nothing here at the campsite. But that means we're back today having more fun.
That's right.
But I got to get the question of the Hamfest for you today, or now. It is, what is your amateur radio adjacent hobby?
Adjacent hobby. Well, for me, because I'm a portable operations guy, I do POTA all the time. It's going to be something outdoors that works with the POTA. Like sometimes I will go hiking before, after, or during the POTA. Sometimes I'll go mountain bike riding and set up and do POTA. I've also played disc golf several times after POTA in the park. So it's anything I can do that's in the park. Key tip here, if you're married and your spouse doesn't like POTA, but she likes something outdoors, maybe photography or reading outdoors, You say, hey, let me take you to get some pictures in the park today. And you get to activate while she takes her pictures.
I love this idea. I love it. Well, thank you for coming on and have a good Hamfest.
Roger, man. Thanks for being here.
I'm with Steve here. What's your call sign?
K5ATA.
And what is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
You know, that's a hard one. I'm busy enough, I don't have time for a lot of hobbies anyway right now. Not really an adjacent hobby, but my other hobby is turning wrenches in my garage.
Ooh.
I just got some great new lime green Harbor Freight toolboxes. They're beautiful.
Nice.
But,
what's your project car?
so I'm looking actually to buy an older Jeep to restore. So that's where we're at. I used to have one, then we had child unit. It came down to Jeep for nursery, nursery one, and now I'm getting back into it. So.
Nice. Are you going to do like an old school Army Jeep? Or?
No, like old CJ7 maybe an old JK. I don't know. I hadn't decided which. You got to look at, with Jeeps, you have to look at what aftermarket things are available.
Yep.
And go from there.
So the question I want to know is, are you going to do GMRS or ham radio?
Yes. So I don't have my GMRS license yet, but that's purely because I just hadn't gotten around. I'm suffering from the smoking ape thing and not able to pass the test right now.
Yeah, the last question is pretty hard, is the $35 question.
So that's not hard. I mean, I hadn't had time to mess with it. And honestly, I don't have time to mess with playing on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you very much and have a good Hamfest.
You as well.
Vaughn and Julie
KJ4 ULZ.
KG4 VT. We're POTA Power.
POTA Power, awesome.
In the house.
And I want to know, what is y'all's ham radio adjacent hobby?
Well, how he got me into ham radio is actually adjacent to my hobby.
Yeah.
I love history and I love to visit new places. My happy place is to sit down and plan a 7-park rove.
Yeah.
Or maybe a 7-part adventure to someplace we've never been. And that works really well with POTA.
We actually use it with ham radio because we take our motorcycle, ham radio POTA. We take our camper, ham radio POTA.
Mm-hmm.
So
Everything.
There you go. Everything's ham radio and POTA.
We love it.
I love it.
Thanks, Frank.
Awesome, y'all. Have a good Hamfest.
Thank you.
POTA
You
Power
too.
on.
73s.
73s.
Freddie, what's your call sign?
Hi, I'm Freddie Mac, K85FMU.
And your YouTube channel?
I have a little YouTube channel called Ham Radio Crusader, and I'm a little about everything, but I kind of specialize a little bit in All-Starlink.
All-Starlink, nice. And I want to know is, what is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
My favorite ham radio adjacent hobby right now, technically, is GMRS.
GMRS?
Yes, I've been dabbling a lot in GMRS, building a few GMRS repeaters, not linking them through an internet service, but will link a few of them with RF links so I can turn them on or off in case of an emergency.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That's fun. What are you using to do that? Are particular troll boards or?
Actually, I'm still using a Raspberry Pi and like a hotspot radio's USB radio interface and connecting them with a microwave dish, but using the same software. It's basically ham VoIP based software so that I can remote into that repeater and either activate it or deactivate it to basically help save itself in case something goes wrong. Or control it otherwise.
That's awesome.
Yeah, having some fun.
Well, thank you, Freddie. Enjoy the Hamfest.
You do the same, Frank. Thank you for everything you do.
Jim, what's your call sign?
WT1W.
And what's your YouTube channel?
FEP Labs Radio.
Nice. My ham question is, tell me about your amateur radio adjacent hobby.
3D printing and insert a lot of beeps here while my mouth moving kind of thing and make it sound really funny.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Okay.
What are you 3D printing lately?
Just mostly a lot of functional stuff, brackets and whatnot, stuff like that. I mean, I printed a bunch of rail kits to sell here. I haven't actually sold any this year. I sold a bunch at Orlando, but for like a G90 and 891 and stuff like that. I print a lot of those.
Very nice. Is there a particular filament you prefer for those?
I use a lot of PCTG.
What is that? I am 3D printer
You're a virgin?
ignorant.
You're a virgin?
Yes.
I don't know. It's cyclohexylene terephthalate glycol modified.
So is it stronger than the usual
Oh yeah, it's stronger than it's more heat resistant and more chemical resistant mostly.
Okay.
So what that means is if you have, like our winders are a special kind of plastic.
Yeah.
It means if you leave this laying in the sun, it's not going to get sad and sag kind
So
of thing.
it's Texas sunproof.
Yeah, it's
Well,
Texas
sun
sunproof.
resistant.
It is Texas sunproof.
Proof.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put that to the test.
Yeah,
I'm going
I
to
mean
leave mine
it's
in
a
the
really
car for a
strong
week.
filament. It's good stuff.
Thank you. Well, I saw y'all just got off the stream and having fun there.
It was great.
What was the stream on?
Everything.
Everything?
Chuck and Ape and T.O. walking around, meeting the people and looking at stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on and have a good Hamfest.
You too, buddy.
What's going on, Smart Jason? What's your call sign?
KM4ACK.
I got my own mic, so that's yours.
Well, I was just going to share.
Yeah. No, keep it to yourself here. I want to know what is your amateur radio adjacent hobby?
Radio adjacent, I would have to say RVing. That allows me to get out and get set up in a park and do a Parks on the Air activation.
Nice. Is your station in the RV or in your car?
Both.
Both?
Both. So I don't have one permanently installed in the RV, so I just set it up when I get out, depending on which radio I happen to want to take with me for that trip.
Okay. Okay. And what is your what is kind of your go-to radio?
For the last 18 months or so, it's been the ICOM 705.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, amplifier too, or just do
Nope,
they dry?
10 watts because normally I'm running digital, and 10 watts is all you're going to need.
No, I give you that. I like voice. Voice is more fun. I give you digital at night when you're tired and you don't want to do anything or smoke a cigar and still do a little bit of radio with talking to the boys.
Yeah, so the cool thing, I'm not a big FT8 fan, but when you want to sit there and enjoy time with your wife and do radio at the same time, FT8's the way to go.
Because they don't know you're doing radio. They just think you're poking a computer.
That's right.
Doing email or just doom scrolling.
And nobody else on the other end of the radios knows that I'm carrying on a conversation with my wife at that moment either.
Yep, I like it. I like it. Thanks for coming on, Jason.
Yep, have a good one.
Mike, what's your call sign?
Hi, I'm Mike, November 8, Yankee Oscar.
And what is your ham adjacent hobby?
Ham Adjacent Hobbies. I guess the nearest one I can think of is astronomy. I've been into telescopes since I was a little kid. I've got an 8-inch Schmidt Newtonian at home for astrophotography. I've been doing that for about 10 years. And that's the main one I can think of.
What telescope you use now?
It's a Meade. I forgot the model number on it. Obviously Meade's not even around anymore.
Any plans to go to a dark area to check out the sky?
I've got a dark area in North Michigan that actually is in a state park, so I can do POTA and do astronomy.
Nice.
That's something I'm hoping to do this summer, actually.
At the same time?
Yep. Yeah. It's simultaneously. Yeah. Actually, with astrophotography, you let it sit there for a long time. I could totally just be on a radio on a table next to it.
No longer than 30 seconds.
Yep.
Because then the Earth moves.
No, I got trackers and everything.
Oh.
Automatically, yeah.
I'm not that fancy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Yep. 7-3.
Howdy, Ed. What's your call sign?
N2XDD.
And what is your ham radio adjacent hobby?
I think nowadays it's going to be 3D printing.
3D printing?
3D printing.
And what are you printing?
Printing all sorts of antenna mounts, radio mounts.
I was expecting some
I got really confused. Gary really, he threw me for a loop here.
He did over here?
He did.
He's jumping in? That's cool.
Yeah. So 3D printing is the ham adjacent hobby of the hour.
What is your recommended printer?
Bamboo Labs.
Bamboo Labs?
Bamboo Labs.
Ooh.
Set it and forget it. No need to tweak it, leveling the bed, none of that.
Favorite element?
PLA probably.
PLA?
Yeah, PLA.
Okay. Oh, cool, man. I appreciate it. Are you having
Thanks,
a fun
Frank.
time out here?
Absolutely.
I'm just going to keep asking you questions.
You are. Well, then we're going to have to stop talking, Frank.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye.